most of us as women, we are the ones also putting so much pressure on ourselves. You go for PTA meeting, 99% are women. And those women are the ones telling the school that my husband is busy. Meanwhile, the husband is at work gisting.
But Dr. What do you want us to say now?
It is the truth.
Because when it comes to business and all, look at all of us, we do business courses, we do this and do that. But when it comes to like parenting and emotions and all of that, and it's like you feel like it's supposed to be in it. If it's not in it, then get the skills.
Yes.
And anybody is listening to this, I want them to think of themselves and their work and their lives and all the areas that they feel like, so how does mental health interact with that? There's mental health in arts and creativity, comes in all of these areas. And that's how I want us to look at it, because I do believe that we don't leave the work to just people with mental health conditions or the so-called we leave it to the professionals. Yes, there's a huge body of people in that category. It's an everybody problem.
Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of OffAir with
Gbemi.
and I'm Toolz. First off, like, subscribe, and share this video, okay? Make sure you do that. And
I was going to also mention, please comment. We love to hear your feedback.
Yes.
We love to hear it. Thank you. Even though some of you used to abuse our makeup and hair, it's okay. Thank you. It's all right.
We're
Still,
getting
sha,
better.
comment.
okay, I've got a question for you guys. Are you good? Are you sure you're good? Everything okay? This episode is our mental health episode. May is the month for mental health. So we've got two fantastic guests who are basically going to break down the whole mental health topic, tell you how to make sure you're okay, tell you how to make sure the people around you are okay, and also to dispel the myths around mental health. So make sure you stick around for that. See, we do care about you. It's not just, gist and gossip. I mean, that's there too, but, So make sure you stick around. In a few minutes, we will be meeting our guests.
To have an honest conversation about mental health and emotional well-being, please put your hands together for our guest, Hauwa Ojeifo, who is the founder of She Writes Women, and Dr. Maymunah Kadiri, who is a psychiatrist and mental health advocate. Welcome, ladies.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being guests on our show.
All right.
And I'm actually very happy that we're doing this because I think we are finally at the point where more people are understanding the importance of mental health and making sure that you're okay and not just kind of, soldiering on and just be a woman, be a man, just get over it and everything. I have a theory that everybody in Nigeria needs therapy.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody in Nigeria needs therapy.
Absolutely, yes.
Because I've talked about this. I started therapy, and there were certain things about myself that I didn't know. I didn't know what made me do certain things. And I think sometimes people have this weird idea of therapy of, you're basically just telling somebody your whole business and everything. But I feel that my therapist, what she did was she basically put a mirror in front of me. And she basically was like, okay, you need to understand yourself a bit better. So, there's certain things that I realized that, oh my gosh, that's because this happened.
Exactly.
That's why this triggers me. That's because of, what I experienced as a child. And this is why, I feel, I get very upset about certain things.
Yeah.
So first of all, do you agree with me that everybody in Nigeria needs therapy?
I think I want to add something to that. When you say everybody in Nigeria needs therapy, I had to sit back and kind of break it down so that Nigerians will understand why, if people say, even if it's more like vibes or more like, let's just say, I looked at the word Nigeria, and in a way, it kind of summarized a lot of things that we're experiencing. For Naira devaluation, which is the N, to insecurity, banditry, and kidnapping, which is the I, to government policies that are not in tandem with our reality, which is the G, to electricity issues, which is the E, to road transport system that is bad, which of course, if I'm going to move from my place in Lagos now to Auchi in Edo State, which is Salah is coming, I know how many hours I'm going to spend on the road. So inflation, your 100,000 is behaving like 10,000 naira now. So your money is not money, And when you summarize everything, there's anger in the land. So, good morning, Toolz. What's good about the money?
You ate that. That's
So
good.
it's very easy to use that to explain to an average Nigerian that people go for therapy because of people in their lives that truly need therapy but are not going for it.
Yeah, but I think to also add to it, to be fair, I think we always say that people are going to therapy for
Let me
because the people that want you to go to therapy are not going to go.
You started something. You start because I think one of the things that okay, you guys, if I'm talking too much about myself, let me, because I know how much it's helped me. But when you get to a certain point when you've been going to therapy and you're like, I'm working on myself, then you see the demons that do not believe in therapy. You're now like, just
The reason.
So that the reason why you're in therapy.
Yes. But something that you said, I remember speaking to somebody, and I was basically talking to this person about the importance of mental health, and just saying, look, it's very important that you actually know, what's going on with you and everything. And he said, if you're talking about Nigeria, most of the mental health problems that people have in Nigeria, it's because of money. It's because of lack of money.
Absolutely.
So he basically said that this person that's like, and he was, we argued about it. He was so crass about it. This person. He was so crass about it. And he's like, oh, this one, I'm depressed. Isn't it money? If they give you money, wouldn't this depression go?
But that doesn't make it any less of depression, though. It doesn't make it any, because I think the issue is that we have this idea that it's all like, oh, is this thing, it's in your genes and all of that. So it's like, it's immune from your environment. You're just predisposed. It's you in particular that the thing is going to happen to. But what we're seeing is that it's actually social issues.
Yeah.
We're actually seeing that financial issues are like the number one pressure. Like we just released our impact report, 10 years of mental health response, our 24/7 helpline and everything. And we're seeing that money is actually the number one. And family issues are number two, and then romantic relationships.
If you think about it, if that credit alert hits your
It's
account,
healing.
and you are able to pay your bills and you still have a good chunk left, because it's one thing for credit alert to hit your account, and by the time you finish paying all the bills in like 10 minutes, you're like, huh. But the credit alert hits your account, you've sorted out things you need to sort out, and you're pretty much okay. Your boo is not stressing you, your family is not stressing you. You'll be relatively happy,
But the
right?
only challenge in that is the fact that some people are already sitting on the fence from their childhood experiences. So even Elon Musk, when he said money doesn't buy happiness, there was a time he said it on X Space. Like, hey, you are the richest man on earth. How can you say that? And of course, there's a whole lot of information on discussion under that. It's because of our childhood experiences shape us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I read up on his father.
Yeah.
I feel sorry
Advanced
for
childhood experience. Exactly. Advanced childhood experiences.
Sorry.
So those people that are already sitting on the fence, even if the money comes, it's very short-lived kind of happiness, and every other thing still goes on. If you come from a family where there was divorce, dysfunctional family setting, molested when you were small, death of one or both parents, those things just can even reshape and rewire your DNA because it's not nature versus nurture.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at the end of the day, we should not just simplify it. It's
Yeah.
not money and all of
No,
those
do
things,
you know
and
what?
it's
Do you
multi-
know one of the things that I really like that we've established today is that the lack of money can actually cause you
Or
to have
exacerbate.
exacerbate mental health issues. Can I ask this? Why is it that you could have somebody that is going through the worst of the worst, and you can see? I find that sometimes if you look deep into people's eyes, you can kind of just sort of see. But you ask them, "Are you good?" They're like, "I'm fine." Why is
it's a social thing. I remember an experience that happened to me during my master's, and I was really struggling that period, and that's when my mental health issues really came to the fore. And when you're really looking for somebody to just tell you how are you, and you really want to fall apart, but perhaps in a place of safety, like I just need somebody to hold me, and there's a longing. And I remember he just said, "Oh, how are you?" And I was just about to say "Oh, more," and he's like, no, how are you? It's fine.
Like, whoa.
Don't do that. How are you? It's fine. That's what we do. So I think it's like a social thing, and I also think it's much deeper, that a lot of us can sit with our own emotions, and so we can handle the emotions of other people.
Yeah.
When things are not like vibes, and it's all good and chill, and then you want to bring, dampness and stiffness. They're like, I mean, I'm still dealing with my own. You know, I'm going to add my own to it.
So isn't it funny because people say be real, but
yeah.
not like that.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
That's too real.
That's too real. And the truth is that it's because, when people say, how are you? It is highly underrated, overlooked, underestimated. People say, how are you? Not to understand you, but to respond to you. So
like a greeting. It's like a greeting.
Yeah,
I saw you on Instagram 5 minutes ago, on WhatsApp, and your status was active. I saw you on Facebook. So they are not really, really expecting any response. So when we built our telemedicine platform, we called it Hauwa Body. How are you?
Hauwa Body. Okay.
There's something very important that you mentioned now. The whole social media aspect. I feel that, especially, let me talk about my experience. I feel that where we are now in this digital society, sometimes we forget to really check up on people, because the nature of social media is you put the glossy, glamorous part of your life out there. So there have been times that I've experienced something horrible, and I don't want to post it. And then what I will post is I'll post like a picture of me in a nice dress. So I feel that a lot of people do that. And I'm looking at somebody that, is my friend. Everybody's busy. You've got work, you've got kids, you've got this and everything. And then, you just kind of just see like a nice picture of them. And you're like, oh, they're good. But I find that we don't, as much as we should, just kind of do that check-in like, oh, is everything okay? You good? Everything fine? And I'm now making a mental effort of not really making sure I do not just take what I see on social media as my friend's good.
Yeah.
Because I find that there's some people that we react to different things, differently. So there's some people that could be going through, a horrible time, but yet they're obsessed with just posting great pictures on Instagram. And I'm also trying to understand, in this day and age, how do you, as somebody that's a friend, somebody that's, a sibling, a whatever, how do you make sure you thoroughly check on someone and just make sure they're okay?
I think just realizing that social media is not all of life. I mean, I don't necessarily agree that social media is not real life. I know people say social media is not real life. I'm like,
curated.
it is a part of life.
It's filtered life.
It's filtered, but it is a part of it, right? And I think we're also seeing a lot of, data and, headlines talking about how we've never been this, technologically driven and into each other's lives, and yet we're losing our connections so much. And so that's why a lot of times, we even see more studies in neuroscience telling us that, your interactions on social media do not activate the same parts of the brain as face-to-face interactions as well.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the replacement of AI in therapy and things like that, and people are like, no, I just asked ChatGPT and I got my 30 days, and I'm like,
I find that's very wild.
But
People, consulting ChatGPT for therapy purposes. Very wild. But one thing I was going to say, still on this social media situation, is how much damage does comparison quietly do to one's mental health?
Yep.
And the reason I'm asking this question is I have heard people say, oh, I had to log off social media. I was seeing people doing well, doing this, doing that, and my life is not going so well. It's difficult for me to understand. It really is.
like
And
to look at people online doing well and it's affecting
for me,
Yes.
we're all
No,
different
of course,
people.
of course.
We're all
Yeah.
different people, and we process things differently. I've been in situations where, I feel like things are not going well right now. And I don't find it difficult to celebrate the other person, whether or not we're close or not. Same thing where people say, I had to unfollow this person because I was starting to be envious. I don't understand it, but at the same
least
time,
we
I
acknowledge it.
understand
Exactly.
that we're all different and we
Exactly.
view things differently.
Can I
Yeah.
respond to it? Because I'm actually a little bit different. I have had to basically just not unfollow, but basically just maybe, mute someone.
Yeah.
And it's not because I was unhappy for them, because the way I see it, you that I consider, like we're peers and everything, you doing great things, great things, moving to like bigger successes, that means I can do it. But so I can look at them and be like, oh my gosh, she's doing well. But then I also feel like, and I think this is something that I've had like since I was a kid. I'm a chronic overachiever. So I can be like, yes. So I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I can be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. I'm not wishing you ill, but I'm just like, I need to get myself together.
Yeah.
Like we did. Why is she? Oh my gosh, I'm not doing this. Do I need to do another course? Do I need to? I'm not obsessing about them, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing enough. I need to do this. It's a reminder that am I using this? Maybe there's something that they're doing that I didn't do. So it's one of those things that it just becomes a constant like source of extra pressure for me. So while I'm like, well done, fantastic. I'm like, I'm just gonna, because I have a lot of stuff I'm dealing with. So let me not add that extra thing of why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing that?
Yeah, I remember somebody said something on X, and I absolutely believe it. And the person said something along the lines of, we're never supposed to hear as much of each other's thoughts.
Yes.
As much of each other's
Yes.
We'll be so into each other's lives. And so we're seeing ripple effects of it. Whether we're different, like you said, there are people that it doesn't do them. You just scroll past and it's okay. Oh, yay, thumbs up or whatever. And we are seeing, especially in the younger generation, that it is causing serious issues.
It is.
That constant state of comparison is a problem.
Yes.
It's, some people will tell you that I don't even find it on Instagram. I find it on LinkedIn. They'll tell you that you see that LinkedIn one every day.
I'm delighted to announce.
I'm proud to
But
announce.
one of the things I tell my friends that are not in the entertainment space in particular is that people lie a lot. People lie. People
right.
lie on
Embellish.
LinkedIn. People
Embellish,
lie.
yeah.
No,
Curated
they embellish and they're
And they
straight up
lie.
lies.
Because you know that personality, and you are seeing what it's like. What?
No, because I remember one of my friends, she was talking about someone. She's like, oh, but she's always on private jets and everything. And then somebody that runs like a private jet, like, hangar, basically said to me that they have people that come with clothes and come and do photo shoots. There's a private jet studio.
Yeah.
There's a private jet studio where so that person can come, right? That person can come with like 4 different outfits.
Yeah.
Today, the first shoot, they'll sit on this side. Next, they'll sit on that side. Next, they'll sit opposite. And they're posting it and they're like catching flights, not feelings. And you're just like, man, I've never been on a private jet. What am I doing in my life? I'm working very hard and everything. But you don't even know that as that person is posting that picture, they're in their house soaking Gary.
They're faking.
They're
the
soaking Gary.
No, be very
They're,
specific about Gary.
with no eyes,
Yes, with no
because
eyes.
they don't have lights.
Gary will rise.
Do you understand?
Oh
So
my God.
it's actually very, very important. And I feel bad for the young
Impressionable
people.
people.
Yes.
The young people in this country that are working very, very, very hard. And you have people that, maybe they put themselves through school, or they just, they're doing a lot and they're just like, I'm working, but it doesn't look like something is happening.
Yeah.
But this person, she's just, oh, thank you, Baba God, new tier about this. First of all, I always say sometimes you don't know what people,
Have done.
Sometimes
Exactly.
I've heard that this person did this, and I'm like, you know what, she deserves it because I couldn't do that. I could not do that. So this whole social media thing, how do you get a balance? How do you get a good balance? How do you use it as a platform, as a resource, but not let it like take over your life?
So it's very important for us to understand that the fear of missing out, which is FOMO, is what some people are dealing with. So avoid that and embrace JOMO, which is joy of missing out. There's actually
Write it down. Write JOMO for me. Write it down.
really joy in missing out. It's not because you are missing out on things generally, but if you constantly put yourself in a position where I've just been selected, I've just graduated, I've just won this, people are not showing their failures. They are showing curated highlight reels. And that comparison thing is a trauma-bound response. Because you are like, oh, why not this? I should have done this, maybe this, and you constantly put pressure on yourself. And when it comes down to the younger people, so let me talk about the younger people. As far as you are below the age of 25 to 26, your brain is still going through
Still forming.
development. And because it's going through redevelopment, a lot of things can happen and some may not be reversible.
Oh,
And
wow.
studies are telling us that half of all mental illnesses start before the age of 14. So a 10-year-old can actually die by suicide. Yes, we found somebody, yes, in Nigeria, yes, in Lagos, maybe even be your neighbor. But they will just come and say he died peacefully in his sleep. Nobody actually died peacefully in his sleep. I'm a physician, I will tell you that for free. So the truth is that because half of all mental illnesses, which is 50%, start before the age of 15 and 75 before the age of 24, these fast and furious techie savvy generation, because they are the ones that have enjoyed the best. Because when I was writing my project, as I was leaving medical school, I still went and sat down with sack of newspaper. I was looking, but now
For
it's just
research.
Everything is there.
Cloud AI, Open AI, this AI, this AI, and everything will come in. So they are the therapy generation. That means they are opening up to talk about their feelings and they need help and all that. So use it to your advantage. Take what you need from it and leave the red out so you can focus in your pursuit for greatness and your happiness. You need to know what you need. The people you surround with yourself with, where you go to. It's not only what you eat that matters. What you consume can be what
Mentally.
you are saying, what you are hearing, what you are feeling, and everything in totality makes who you are. And our brains are neuroplastic, meaning your brain cannot distinguish between a cola drink and water. So you are the one that will feed your brain to tell your brain, this is what I want. So when we talk about words of affirmation, people say it's all motivational, I will aspire to require. It's a lie. Science tells us that when you affirm and you act on it, it's action. It works. Because you are actually feeding your brain those positivity and you are doing it. So yes, social media is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's going to even get more complex. But I will encourage our younger ones, pick what you need from it. Avoid the FOMO syndrome. Embrace the JOMO syndrome. And focus in your pursuit for
I
greatness.
think just to add to that, on a broader level as a society, we have work to do. When you have a society that doesn't have very good values as a foundation, then you add instant gratification, exposure, mass exposure to everybody's life, then you see what we're seeing today. Mental health issues are on the rise. People are dying of depression and suicide and comparison, being paralyzed, and now people are doing anything for content.
Yeah.
Because that is what we have rewarded as a society. That's what our values have become. Like, okay, you know what? I just need to get this and do this on social media. I'm going to make it. People are going to look at me. But then you look deep inside, and these are maybe, for example, people who did not get a lot of love from home. And so if I can get it on social media,
Validation.
then if I can do that and it got me like, 1,000, 5,000 views, I would do it some more extra and then I'll get 10K views. So we're seeing like a degradation of certain kinds of values. And that's been exacerbated again by social media. So that's social emotive awareness, because I do know people that will tell you, and yes, I want to be able to like distance myself. I want to be able to balance. But if that's where I get my sense of belonging, if there are no other spaces where I can get my identity and belonging from, then that's a problem.
I think that people should try to not let social media run their lives. And there are certain things that I do sometimes. Like, there's a lot of bad news out there. So once I see, and here's what happened. So one day, my previous place of work, early days of radio, this is when we started hearing of terrorists and this, and they had captured, I think, like a British journalist or something, and they beheaded the person. And a colleague showed it to me. And for weeks and months, I would see that over and over, and it really bothered me. So I started to I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to look at any violence. I'm not going to look at any beheading. I'm not going to look at anything. Oh, they say, some people say, oh, like this happened, or this person jumped off the bridge. I don't want to see. I don't want to know. I don't want to see. I just scroll past, and I even tell, like, we can hear the story, but don't
without-
show me.
Do you know? But you know the craziest thing, right? You said something about society. I think there is an actual ongoing degradation of society as a whole, because there's certain things that I think sometimes we just go along with stuff, and then every now and then I'm like, wait, what? Why? Let me give you an example. December, when Anthony Joshua had the car accident, what was really scary to me is the amount of people that had their phones out.
Yeah.
And that seems like it's a reflex action for people. So you don't even think, let me help this person. Your first thing is, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get views from this. And it really scares me. Not long ago as well, there were the car crash. Sorry, there was this situation with two influencers in the UK, and they were fighting, and then one like ran over another one with a car. She later died, but the phones, no, like in term, they were men, they were like big men there, all over, and everybody was just, they filmed somebody get killed, and I'm at the point where I'm just like, where do we stop? Where is it that you see somebody that has a car accident, somebody that needs help, somebody that is literally, this is like a very, very critical moment, and your first thing to do is, oh, let me film this. Oh, this will be good. Or that whole wanting to be the one to share it. Oh, it's my clip. It's that. So I'm scared because I've got boys and I'm like, I don't want them to think like that. I want them to kind of, if you're in a situation where you see something happening, either if it's something that you can intervene in, do that, or go and get help. Don't stand there and film and, watch somebody get like fatally injured or something. So when did we get to this point where that is more exciting? Seeing this and filming it is more exciting than just saying, stop, this isn't right, shouldn't be happening.
It happens slowly. It's all these things where you don't know something is changing, and in 10 years you look back and you're like, oh my God, how did we change? And then we change. I really do believe that it's the things that we reward. It's values and it's social emotive awareness. It's the things we reward, whether we know we're rewarding it or not. If we reward it with our eyeballs and our views, you are encouraging, and somebody's like, oh great, I'm going to do that some more. And then, we see people really take extreme steps because what is that? Somebody's literally dying right in front of your eyes, and everybody just stands there. But when we were growing up, we used to see like
community
people,
effort,
people rush into to help
bring
people.
grappa,
but now it's like, no, the phone is
help,
first. So it's a values thing. It's also tech in the sense that, and that's why you see a lot of conversations even globally on responsible tech as well, because you see, they have some of the best behavioral scientists that work in many of these tech companies and phone companies and everything. And they have really bought us in terms of our attention, in terms of what we prioritize, in terms of, it's not just a matter of willpower. And that's why I say you can teach the values, you can teach, the social emotive. You can say, oh, people embrace joy, but they are not now, because clearly the issue is still there. So those that have enough willpower will do that. Those that have enough maturity and, self-awareness will take Gbemi's aspect of things. But those that are, and that's the majority of people that don't have those things. It's an entire systemic effort. It's, okay, whoever is going to hold the tech companies, responsible. You need to start holding them responsible for what they're doing, because they are literally damaging people, and they're doing it because of money. They know what you're doing, So on the one hand, you're doing that, but on the other hand, you're teaching, skills, social emotive skills. That is, okay, why do I do what I do? Why do I respond with anger to like kids, and they're growing up with that? But also the entire society forms the entire value system. So that's why when I talk about mental health, a lot of times I don't want people to always get into this idea that mental health is just that, depression, it's suicide. I really just like to water it down. It's how we think, it's how we feel, and how those
how we
things
react
affect our
and
behavior.
everything.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I have a question for
Okay, go
the doctor. How do you know when stress has stopped being normal stress and it has become emotional burnout? Like, what are the signs that people usually ignore or are not aware of?
and that is really on the higher now, especially that burnout. And people will think that the treatment for burnout is day spa, vacation, hang out with friends. No.
Drag me.
So now I'm telling you, baby, my full
All the
chest,
things you mentioned.
yes, that is not the treatment.
Hell.
Yep.
That is not the
Yep.
solution. With my full chest, I'm telling you now, if you burnt out, you need a minimum of 1 to 3 years
Of what?
of treatment, of solution. It's not a spa day, it is not lodging into a resort, it's not going to Bali, Maldives, it's not having your friends around you, it's not having
It's not
billion
credit
in your
alert.
account, it's not credit alert. You need a minimum of 1 to 3 years because it takes time. Burnout is slow, insidious, continuous, persistent, and you are ignoring it.
So how do you treat that?
Yeah. So you have to also know at what point did you start, seeing that things are changing. Your productivity is dipping, your interpersonal relationship with people is being affected. Of course, with your relationship with yourself, it's not only with people, and of course, your activities of daily living, your change in your diet, your mood, your energy, your sleep, and all those things. So, burnout is not like, oh, this is clinical depression. No, burnout is that easily tired, easily demotivated, not wanting to do anything. You are still doing things that I have to be on off air, right? You do it, but like when you are done, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, irritated.
It's like, okay, I've done it so that my partner will not feel as if
She's dragging me by the scalp, man.
so
Dragging my edges, bro. Okay.
So that's where we are, and especially among high impact achievers, people that want to achieve. And when it comes to all of this, let's also look at the women, especially.
You're in my head. In my head. Because that was going to be my
Yeah, like how do you want to escape it?
That was going to be my next
Women
thing.
and married women
And mothers.
and mothers.
Our first
So
daughters.
oh my God! Because we are more super stressed than the general population. We are twice more depressed than the general population at the moment. We are being accustomed.
Please come and give Gbemi drink. Gbemi is
Take her. And be told on a constant basis, day-to-day basis, you are a multitasker. You are doer. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Can I just give you?
Yes.
Do you know what?
It's a lie.
Somebody, I was arguing, and till today, we had such an
Spirited argument.
an explosive argument about this. Dr. Ola, the flying doctor.
Ah, Dr.
Brown.
We were at lunch, and she was like, "This whole thing of women being multitaskers
It's
is
a
a
lie.
scam." And I was like,
From
no,
hell.
it's not. She goes, no, it's a scam. It's because society has told us that. And she's like, okay. So she basically now pointed out different, businessmen, like very, very wealthy, successful businessmen. And she was like, these people have like a whole team, beside them, behind them. And she was just like, okay, fine. Women as multitaskers, why aren't there more women in business? Why aren't there more? And she said,
The high level
so
of
I
success.
I was like, I cannot accept this because this is what society has
That's what
told me.
society wants you to
So
do,
it
to
took me
accept it.
a second. It took me, and I think she was just like, what's wrong with this one? It took me a second. No, because if you have something that has been told to you
Yeah.
over and over and
Yeah.
over again,
Yeah.
and then somebody actually says, you're like, no, that's my reality.
Yes.
No, you can't come and
Because
do
you're operating
this.
in that framework.
So
and then all of a
absolutely,
sudden it's like,
and I was speaking to one of my good friends a few days ago, and she was just talking about something that we both are going through, and I think this is something that a lot of women, especially women that are wives and mothers, I think actually like a lot of women, we don't know how to stop mentally. So, for example, my sleep is bad. My sleep, I'm constantly trying to, because okay, this is what happens. I'll get home. And obviously, you want to spend time with the kids. You want to do this. You want to do that. Then you got to make sure, okay, hubby's okay. Everything's fine. So sometimes it is around 8 or 9 o'clock that I'm like, okay, all the work I need to catch up on. So I'm there, my laptop and everything. And sometimes I'm there till like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And I'm just, because when my kids are around, my kids don't let me. They want to, I want to spend time with you, mom. Don't worry, I'm going to be quiet. And that's not true. So I now go to bed. I'll go to bed. Like there was a time that I was going to bed about 4 o'clock and my kids will be up at 6 and and I'll be up. And I just realized that about a week or so into that, I just became slower. I couldn't, my thoughts weren't, So I realized that there's a problem, but I always felt I just have work to do. I need to get ahead of myself. So what I started trying to do is I looked at everything that I needed to do. And I tried to pick what was priority, what needed my immediate attention, and then stuff that I could do tomorrow. Because before I was trying to do everything. I'm like, you know what? If I do this, I don't have to do this tomorrow. If I, and it was crazy. So I feel that a lot of women, when it comes to, I can, obviously speaking for women because I am a woman, when it comes to the burnout, situation, I feel that we are in that space for a while, and our brains don't know how to turn off. and you're just, it's this cycle going, and then you just get to a point where you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm tired.
I mean,
strong,
if
but
not,
she's tired.
yes. I mean, I think one of my we're chatting, a group of friends, and all ladies now, like mothers and all, and they're just like, I don't see why our mothers were so angry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
they have to
tweeted
look for
it.
an outlet.
I tweeted it. I used to
Yeah.
wonder as a
Yeah.
teenager
Yeah.
why my mom was always annoyed.
were so
And
upset,
now
they're so
look at me
irritable.
now, always annoyed Junior.
Like, do you understand?
Why will you not be?
Always
Calm
annoyed
down.
Junior.
Yeah.
When you're not
There's-
sleeping
there
well,
was-
you're irritable.
There was, and there's so many. One of the things that I really hope we can, move past is the expectations that our society has on women, because a lot of men, I'm not going to turn this into like a men versus women, we'll do that another episode. But a lot of men, for example, get married and they remember what they saw their moms doing, and they expect the same from their wife. They expect that she's going to go to work, but she's going to come back and she's going to cook like a fresh new meal. Then but in the morning, she's still going to be the one to shower the kids, get the kids to school, do all of this and everything. So they're like, that is, that's what you should be. But your mom probably had high blood pressure. Your mom she probably wanted to leave you guys.
I don't know
So there's like
anybody's. I don't know anybody's mom who doesn't have a bad back, a bad knee, a bad hip, a bad foot, a bad something, or
So
she's
I-
diabetes or something.
So there were certain things that I saw that I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and do things differently. I remember when I've got 2 kids. I remember when I went from like one nanny to 2 nannies. And it was like I was like, oh my gosh. Then I thought about it.
Were you embarrassed?
I was a bit like, they're like, so...
Yeah, Bolino.
Do you understand? Like, almost like
That means your own mommy is not even.
do you understand? And then somebody's like, but so who spends time with the kids? I'm like, I still spend time with my kids. But there's certain times I'm just like, okay, you do this, you do that. It has made my life so much easier. So I feel that women are still judged
Absolutely.
for picking that option that would bring them just a little bit of mental peace. Like, okay, cooking. I love cooking, but I don't like cooking when I feel like I have to cook.
Yeah.
So recently I got to the point I just was like, I don't really want to cook anymore.
Yeah.
I do cook. I mean, I still cook now, but I just remember, you say, oh my gosh, when I was feeling that way, let me go and say it on Twitter. Oh, feminist demon, all of this. But is it something that has made my household, like made things like work better for me? There's sometimes I'm like, I don't want to think about this. I want to do this, but is everybody okay? Everybody's fine. Just because I said I don't want to cook, maybe like for the next few weeks I just don't want to cook. It doesn't mean my children went hungry. They still had bellies full of food. So I feel that we still have a long way to go when it comes to allowing, or not even allowing, because it shouldn't be a case of allowing, but accepting that women are going to this works for me, this doesn't work for me. I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to do laundry. I have no interest. It doesn't bring me, it's a chore that I hate. I feel like if there's a chore that you hate.
Oh, I hate all chores.
Why can you not just...
When somebody said, no, it's true. When somebody said, oh, what's the one chore that you don't mind doing? I don't like it. Who loves what? And so I used to get annoyed, even as a teenager, when you see these ads and women are happily washing, happily washing. I used to hiss when I used to hand wash things. I was like, oh, God, now it's time to iron. Oh, God. I don't want to, so you know what?
I cannot... the one thing I cannot do, and do you know that's why I wear like a lot of stretchy clothes? I hate ironing. I hate ironing with a passion.
I think that people need to understand that just because you're female or born female does not mean that you should love cooking and love all these things. And so when you say it, you look like an alien. Like, I'm not a fan. You should be
able to cook. I feel like every person
should
be able to.
No, there are 3 things I say. I say like every adult should be able to cook. You don't have to cook it well, but at least be able to throw 1 or 2 things together. Cook, drive, swim.
At least you can eat.
No, seriously. Every adult, cook, drive, swim. You don't have to be the best at it.
Exactly.
I'm still working on it. I'll start swimming this year. I'll learn.
Can we hold you account? The only way you can achieve is
or at
to
least
have an accountability.
Yeah.
partner.
Or at least float.
At least float.
Me, I can float.
I wanted to
But
add
there are life
something
skills,
to it,
though.
though.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are life skills.
Yeah, there are life skills.
Yeah.
So the truth is, when it comes to this mommy's skills,
Yes.
because that's one
It's
thing
a big
that's
thing.
really putting so much pressure.
Mm-hmm.
That mommy is good. If I'm not there, nobody will do it. Hey, mommy, you will die. Your children will survive. So we have to start telling women that reality.
And your partner will remarry in a year.
That is the thing.
6
and
months.
That is the, no,
It's true.
When women come
It's
for
true.
therapy and sit down with me, this is what I tell them. You are here. You are telling me I'm not clinically depressed. You are the one telling me I'm not clinically depressed, but I just want time out. Madam, wait, let us find out if you fall in or you fall out. And we have to admit people because they're on that, they're just
On the
they're
brink.
just here.
Yeah.
And then no nanny, no driver, no cook, nothing.
Not everybody
And
can
then
afford
this woman
that.
is on admission, and I'm like,
And she still has a full-time
Did-
job.
did-
yeah, she's there.
But
and
is
she's
your house
trying
not going
to,
on? Yeah.
she's trying to control. But
The
because
house,
in
yeah.
our hospital, no phones, no tablet, because we are there for as inpatient. So you're not there to go and be communicating with the outside world. So we are not sitting daddy down and say, these are the reasons why your boo is on admission. And you need to reorganize your home front before she comes back. The things that he didn't do
When
before
she was there.
When she was there. Now, within
Suddenly.
a week, a driver, a cook, a nanny, and everybody is available. Because we are not letting him know, look, even when we have people here, those that love football know there's MVP, most valuable player, which is one award that is a big thing. In your relationship as a married woman, be the MVP there, most valuable partner. Because at the end of the day, when you are gone, like you said, you will remarry, your children can be scattered all over the place. You need your sanity. You need to be able to set those boundaries. You need to be able to sit down and tell yourself the truth. Leave the mommy's guilt. They will survive. Most women that have come on admission like that, a lot of times those things change because we are not telling them this. And most of us as women, we are the ones also putting so much pressure on ourselves. You go for PTA meeting, 99% are women. And those women are the ones telling the school that my husband is busy. Meanwhile, the husband is at work gisting.
But Doctor, what do you want us to say now?
No,
You will report
it is the
him out
truth.
to the school.
No, there are ways of doing it, and I will say it publicly. You, in this kind of cases, you go to the teacher, you give the teacher credit. You say, this is my husband's number. Call and say the school is looking for him. That man, no matter what he's doing, he will show.
If he's responsible.
Those that are responsible, they will show. And that business will disappear at that point in time.
So I have a question about the people that come to your clinic. No, I have especially for the women. So at what point do they get to where you are like, okay, we're going to take you in as a patient. We need to help you. At what point does it get to?
Asking for a friend.
So
No.
So
Not asking for a friend,
let
but
me give you worst case scenario
Okay,
before I come to
okay.
the very mild one.
Okay.
Coming in suicidal.
Aha.
Coming in, I'm and at that point they have lost memory, they are looking disheveled, they are not even who they are. So it may be the husband who is responsible that will bring her, or loved ones, friends, most times friends that will say, look, our friend needs help. So those are the worst case scenario, but some even very basic ones, the burnout. You just start seeing that, look, you're already seeing in steps, in 2 days, in 3 days, in 1 week, this woman is going to break down completely. Because studies and science tells us that we are twice more likely to be depressed than men, right? And then we have been taught about menarche, that is the first menstrual flow. But most of us, as we are sitting there as women, we were not taught nothing about perimenopause and menopause.
Thank you.
Let's not go there because that's a topic for another day.
I did not know about any perimenopause. Oh, it was.
And so you come in for
It's a very
depression.
recent one.
You come in with symptoms of depression thinking you are depressed. And I'm like, how old are you? I'm 38. I say, you've already started your perimenopause.
What age does
35 years and above.
35?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it can be, some people are 40, they're already post-menopausal.
Then you think of it.
They're already done. And so, and the symptoms can be so weird and wicked.
So could it be like, this is just a random.
Yeah, for a friend.
Don't
Yeah.
be shy.
Yeah,
For a
no,
friend.
it's
Could
No,
it be
for a
like
friend.
when everybody in the house irritates you?
Almost always angry, Junior. Look at you now.
No, so that irritation is an emotion, but as it started affecting your relationship, as it started affecting your productivity, as it started affecting your day-to-day activity, then
I think, I do small things. Like Mother's Day this year, I said, don't call me, don't bother me, don't talk to me,
Wow.
don't fend for yourselves. And I went to eat lunch, I went to the cinema, even though the movie was rubbish, but I was like, it's okay. But the fact that nobody needed me for at least 5 hours, I was so excited. I mean, and then I went to the spa. I was like, they were like, what do you want? I said, don't buy me anything. I don't even want card. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
I think what I wanted to say is that we have work to do. That's those that can afford it. Because the conversation, there are people that will hear it and be like, but I can't afford to do that. And it is true. Some women can literally not. I don't even mean in the financial sense.
Yeah.
I mean, their settings, their environment, they cannot afford to step back.
They don't have the help and
exactly,
everything, yeah.
and all of those things, right? I think we need to model, because it has worked for us, even at Your Right to Women, my mental health organization, is modeling. What does it look like? And I tell people this since becoming a mother, that I want to model what it looks like to be a well-rested woman. Because I don't think a lot of us know what that looks like.
I was going to ask, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
A lot of us don't know what that looks like. So sometimes it includes, and it's hard. By the way, you will be looked at really badly. So sometimes it looks like, no, I don't want to hang with my child. And how can you know? I say I don't want to hang with my child.
Bear in mind,
leave me alone.
Bear in mind,
I want my friends.
Bear in mind, all these studies that say that we need 8 hours sleep. This is men. Apparently, new
We need
studies.
more sleep.
New studies show
we
that
need
women
less
need
than
more
men.
sleep.
More sleep and uninterrupted.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You
I-
must put that uninterrupted. But we are always interrupted.
I think mom guilt. I think
moms.
mom guilt. That's something that I constantly deal with. After I think I had my second son, I wasn't away from them for over a year. Like I did not see them. And I became. And one thing I realized is, those people don't really send you like that.
Exactly.
They don't really send you like that. So there was a time that I needed to travel by myself, and I was so emotional. I felt like I was a bad mom. Bear in mind, I have 2 nannies. I've got a husband. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what if they, this and this and this? And I was so worried. I remember a few days before I started getting tearful. And I'm like, my kids. So I went on this trip, and I remember one of the best parts of that trip was, there was because my kids, I've got 2 boys. So they like to, like maybe 5:45, 6 o'clock, they like to wake the house with like WWF, like live in my house.
Do we jumping on each other?
Live in my house, like, fighting, whatever. So they like to do that. So it's like a lot of noise and everything. So it was weird because I was in this apartment, like this Airbnb by myself. And I was like, what's wrong? There's no noise. There's no noise. So what I did was I literally just lay in bed for a while. And then I didn't have to separate fights. I didn't have to do this. I didn't have to do that. So I felt guilty, but it actually did me a lot of good. And as much as I thought they're going to need me, first time I spoke to them, oh, mommy, we miss you. I was like, I miss you too. The next thing, what did you buy for us? I'm like, you guys are fine. For you to say, I was like, you guys are fine. You're not, But I have friends that have never, since they became moms, they have never
Stayed away from
been
their
away
children.
from their children.
I do that. I have friends who are like that. And I do say that, look, like for what you said, you mentioned that some people don't have the help and everything. This is where I think that women are good with community building. You have to build
You have to have somebody. I know somebody that when she travels for work, she takes her children.
In all fairness,
a lot of women,
confess,
yeah.
I'm that person.
No, I can't.
Wherever you see me,
How many?
is a baby.
No, I don't.
She has
No,
four. She has 4
all of
children.
them.
It takes two to
She
tango.
travels with 4. She travels with 4
The
children.
daddy is there.
Hey, no, daddy is there, but me too, I want my baby.
No, the truth is that you are just trying to just enact and tell yourself that the society has said you have. The truth is that I always look at, I don't have this all or none principle. It's a spectrum.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to also know that what if you are not there?
Yeah,
We
of
have
course.
seen women that held their babies. When they go into the postpartum depression phase, they are dropping their babies. They commit what we call infanticide. They take the baby's life. So the thing of, my baby always has to be with me. If you are not there, worst case scenario, what then happens to that child? Obviously, that child will be nurtured by, community.
Yeah,
Friends
absolutely.
coming together,
Yes,
partners
absolutely.
coming together.
And I think the most important thing for me, the most important thing I've learned is children are resilient.
Very.
There is for one thing
They're
I've learned.
tougher than you think.
But my children, as long as they have like the in terms of their, primary caregivers, as long as they see one person. So, my nannies are there and everything. As long as they see one person, they see daddy and everything. They have, their bellies are full.
Yeah.
They can run around.
Important.
They don't really care like that.
It reminds me of
They don't really, they don't really care like that.
And she's like, our mothers did, our grandmothers, they did less. Like, okay, there's milk in the house.
Our mothers
Yes,
You're
yes.
fine.
So
I'm fine.
this our generation of, oh my God, you have to nurture, no screen time, no this, no that. I mean, of course, there's merit in all of these things.
Yeah.
But it's like we're so
We're doing
hands-on,
a lot.
and I think it's because the expectations are like so high
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on.
and I
I
think-
do think it's on the two sides. It's on a personal level, we need to start rejigging
Yeah.
our idea of what it means to be a good woman and a mother, or however it is in whatever stage that is, because we have been sold something. like
Yeah.
this. And in order for you to reverse that thing, you have to
those
unlearn it, and unlearning is hard.
Yeah,
It
and
looks like
I think
rebellion.
and I think what is also very, very important, and this is something that I realized, is you cannot be, my personal opinion, you cannot be a great mom if you're constantly tired, if you're
Absolutely.
constantly
Right.
irritated,
Exhausted.
if you're
Absolutely.
constantly,
Yeah.
because I realized that there was a time when I couldn't prioritize, all the different things I had to do, and I'd come back from work, and obviously kids have been at school, I've been at work, and this is their winding down time before they go to bed. But I was tired. I'd had a stressful day at work, and I'm trying to mommy time, but I'm just, and kids are just gonna look at you like, yeah, I don't want to be around all of that.
Yeah.
So
cranky.
yeah,
That
she's
period,
cranky.
yeah.
So I basically had to be like, you know what? I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm gonna do the things that I need to do, and I'm going to then, go hang out with my kids. And then on top of it, I also realized that there's certain things that we stress about that in the long run, when your child is like 10, 11, 12, they won't even remember.
Yeah.
So I used to have this thing. I was like, I'm going to cook. I'm going to bulk cook and, make sure his vegetables and everything. And my kids don't care about that. They want to be with mommy and daddy, jumping around doing something fun.
Yeah.
So you're worried about, I need to do this, and
Are
they
they
don't
eating
care.
enough nutrients,
And they're
this
not
one, that
they don't end up like, I'm not saying let your kids eat chocolate every
nonsense,
day.
yeah.
But I feel that in terms of the things that you need to prioritize, I think that quality time
Yeah.
is the
Very
most
That's it.
important.
That's
Good memories
it.
with
Yeah,
them,
absolutely.
We've spoken a lot about women and mental health and moms and stuff. What about men?
I was going to ask that. I was going to ask
so
that.
we hear.
that was actually going to be going to be my next question.
Yeah, for men, I always tell my brothers, my friend, my male friends, and my husband, like, you guys need to invest more in your friendships and your relationships.
Yeah.
You cannot do this, my guy. He's
On
this
the
guy that
surface.
you go clubbing with, but you don't.
You
You
guys don't
can't
talk about
open
the
up.
real things.
You can't speak. Look, there might be some things that you don't want to share with me for
Yeah.
whatever reason. But I'm always open to hear. But if you don't want to, it's true. But if you don't want to talk to me, there should be. Yeah, there should be
somebody.
Yeah, there should be somebody that you're able to talk to, and even if obviously the person is maybe not necessarily licensed or whatever. Also, I find that a lot of men are always against going to therapy. So how do you convince men to, one, go to therapy because they feel like they don't need it? Two, which I feel like we all need therapy. And also, what would you say to men who feel like they're alone? Oh, it's lonely. We can't talk to anybody. My boys will laugh at me.
I think it's really interesting. I'll start with the last point, right? Where there's this so-called epidemic of male loneliness that we're hearing about. And then we're like, excuse you, women have been doing this since, and nobody's calling it an epidemic. But I'm coming from a place where we're like, you know what, men, please sort out your problems. You have created your problems. You love the patriarchy has imprisoned you. Get yourself out. So on the one hand, that's like the tough love aspect of things, because we're like, women have decades of issues that we need to catch up on and advance and all of those things. However, what we're seeing is that, and this part is really interesting for us, especially from our 10-year data, is that men are cracking under pressures. And as much as possible, I try not to center male issues where women issues are, again, coming from what I do. But if not for anything, for the fact that women are the first beneficiaries of male issues, a lot of times, then we need to start to address male issues. For us, some things that come up with like 4 in 7 men are suicidal. 4 in 7, like we're seeing that men, rather than seek support early, they come in when it's at the edge. They're in crisis. their family members are like, we can't deal anymore. There's something going on. Or where he's like, you know what? I don't even want to get, I just want to take my life. That's what we're seeing. And so you hear that women are maybe getting therapy or receiving mental health care or reaching out for mental health support more, but men are more likely to go through with suicide. That's actually what we're seeing. But now, to now add to it, actually, reorientation and social reorientation. You said something earlier that I thought was really interesting, but I want to link it back to what I said before, which is modeling. And that's the role of men in men's conversations on loneliness and belonging and things like that. We do need a lot of remodeling and reorientation of what it means to be a man. When people talk about toxic masculinity, I mean, that's on the one hand, but I really think we need to reshape what masculinity really is. Because there's the idea that masculinity, like, we're not emotional, but anger is an emotion. And you are angry, but you have decided that there are certain emotions that are manly, and there are some that are not. For therapy, I find that a lot of men have, and so supposedly good men, have a problem with therapy because they do believe that therapy in some way has been feminized in a way that, and we have seen certain kinds of studies that will tell you that, men actually do better in male caves where there is like group stuff going on, well facilitated, as opposed to sit down opposite, or my wife is beside me and they're like, tell me about your feelings and your life. What is that? Why would I want to do that?
I'm laughing because.
But they like it when they're like G's and you like, you sit down in a group and they're like, what? Like, bro, they love that. They're able to, because a lot of their validation is gotten from the men.
But the interesting thing is, a lot of guys don't even know how to start talking. So you might have a group of friends where you have, they're able to have good conversations. They're able to, but you might just have one of them that just, in terms of his growing up, he was never encouraged to, so to speak about.
Issue.
There's something I want to get both of your opinions on. Just a few weeks ago, we had somebody on a pod, like a former OAP, right, on a podcast. He was talking about his marriage. I don't know what happened. I don't know the details of. The marriage. I don't know who's right. I don't know who's wrong. I don't know them personally. But what I found very interesting was the fact that people were ridiculing him for coming, and some women, were ridiculing him for coming out and talking about something that was causing him, I should imagine, distress. The fact that he got tearful about it, and they were like, oh, you should never do that and everything. So what are your thoughts on that? Because for me, like I said, I don't know him personally. I don't know the details. I don't know if it was real. I don't know if it was fake. But I feel that for somebody to, if it's valid, let's just say, for somebody to be in a position to, and decide that I'm going to go on this podcast, I'm going to bare my soul to let all the emotions out. For me, that's somebody that has not been able to talk to or has not been able to really resolve these issues.
So the thing is, you have two boys. I have two boys. How many boys?
Boy.
Girl.
It starts with us. Women, we are the custodian of culture. We have to start changing the narratives. We are the natural nurturers, bearers, and rearers. Why am I saying the four of us and other people in the room that are aspiring mothers and already mothers? We have to start changing the orientation and start telling our boys, before they become men cry.
Yes.
Don't this man up. Be a man. Men don't cry. So when that OAP went on air and was crying, it was like, it's not normal. I don't want to see any man cry again. And this is the second myth I want to bust here. We talked about multitasking. The second one is that people always say women are more emotional. It is a lie. Fabu. Why am I saying that? There are more men in prison than women. When people think about emotions, they are seeing a woman that is crying.
Yes.
Emotions is a whole range. From anger to sadness to depression to so many. Men, that anger drives them to the prison. So
into violent acts and violent acts.
And that is what makes men to go take their lives. Before you see a woman take her life, we have 20 cases of attempted suicide, more in women. And a man that is attempting suicide is completed. Yeah. He's hanging rope, he's jumping off the bridge, whatever it is. I'm a man. Man up, be a man. That narrative has to change with us. So that the boys can begin to start seeing themselves as humans. They can start knowing that they have emotions. They can open up. Someone has walked into my office and I was asking for Dr. Kadiri. And he got to my table at the end of the day. I said, I'm Dr. Kadiri. I said, no, call your dad. Yeah. And that's a man. So that's a man, right? Come here and said, call your dad. He was sent by a cardiologist who said, you don't have cardiac issues, you have anxiety, and I know who the right person is. My psychiatrist friend. He didn't say my psychiatrist, he said my colleague. So when he came, he was like, oh, I want to talk. I said, call your dad. I said, no, this is me.
I'm the doctor, bro.
This is Dr. Maymunah Kadiri. This is me in full. He said, no. At the end of the day, he said, oh, you look too young. He was expecting a grey man with goggle and all that. So that is still the system we are facing. Men die by suicide more. Men go to prison more. There's a pressure on men. And that is why we are now saying, when people are talking about feminism, people are not getting the right structure. If you want men to survive better and do better, healthier, wealthier, if you take a just small survey of the people that are here, most of us, our mothers are alive, our fathers have died. There's so much pressure on the men because they're expected to do everything 100%. And men have to understand that if you are married, equipping that woman, encouraging that woman, educating that woman, supporting that woman to also be uplifted, it takes two. No hand ever washes itself and is clean. It takes two. So it's a better partnership when you make sure that your partner is
empowered.
Both of you are carrying the home.
Don't try to marry that just because you want that ego and all that. So there's a whole lot that we have to start changing. From our families, from our educational system, from the religious society, that's a big one, and of course the general society. On that note, then we start doing things differently. And men now will start understanding that when they were boys and all these things were like, man up, be a man, men don't cry. Why behave like your sister? I'm a human being. I have emotions. I can cry. So, and that way people coming out to say, I'm very sorry for me crying. And no, you are not sorry.
I have a question.
You don't have to be.
I have feeling it.
I have a question for the women in the house. When's the last time you cried?
Exactly.
Have you cried? Have you cried? No. Have you cried in the last 2 weeks?
Yes.
Raise your hands.
Oh.
The men in the room, have you cried in the last 2 weeks? Have you cried in the last month?
Gbemi, let me tell you something. I had a training last week on Monday. No, Monday, yeah. And I asked exact question because I have a conversation card game that I use. I developed it. They are all therapy questions. I call it therapy on the go. The men in the room, one said he cried last 2016.
That's not normal.
It's not.
You are keeping those emotions inside.
But think about it, right? Think about it, right? Again, because I know that there are two different parts to this story. I'm not for, I'm not against, but what I felt, what I didn't like, and again, it wasn't just men that were criticizing. Someone, oh my gosh, you cried. And I'm just like, imagine this person does not have a group of friends that they can talk to. And there are lots of people like that. Like Gbemi said, you have, a group of guy friends. They've been friends a while, but do they have proper conversations like, are you okay? Are you good?
Let's go clubbing
yes. They'll
Let's vote on a bottle, but you can't talk to each other.
This takes me back to, this is like when I was still living in the UK. And there was this, and it's, when I think about it, this was like years ago. This was years ago. I still think about it and I'm just like, how did we not? There was this guy that I used to that worked in the same company, and he was the kind of person that you see him, he'd be like, "Hi, good morning, hi," and always had a smile on his face. He killed himself.
Exactly. I was going to say
I never till today I struggle to understand how he always. I used to see him, I'm like, this guy's so nice, he's so friendly, and just always had a smile on his face. And he killed him. He was literally, he looked like a happy person. So that made me realize that, people could be going through stuff and they are able to
mask it.
And that's scary. So again, that's why, people around me, I'm just like, are you okay? Are you good? Yeah. We had an episode a few weeks ago where one of my good friends came, and I've tried to study my friends. Like, if their behavior, the patterns are different, I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening?
Yeah,
this is,
that's a valid thing. That's actually what you use. It's not just random people that you be like, that person frowns their face. But do you know whether they usually frown normally? It's when there's an interruption in pattern. And that you know when there's something.
That's when we really need more kindness. Because you just have to be kind to the people you meet on a day-to-day basis because you don't know their struggles. You don't know what
Yes,
they're dealing with.
yes,
So the
yes.
triple muscle we should all begin to start developing is a muscle of kindness, empathy, and compassion.
I'm gonna ask a somewhat controversial question now. And no, I'm sure both of you can answer it. So sometimes, I'm sure you've come across this, both of you, several times. Somebody is dealing with depression. Maybe they lost like a parent, a family member, and the grieving process is taking a bit longer. They're not just doing well, and somebody goes, "Oh, go see your pastor, go see your religious leader." I have a theory. I feel that if you are like a religious person, everything, definitely, but I feel that not all pastors are equipped to deal with actual mental health, because
100%.
I've been in in a situation where I was just like, I just need to talk to someone. So I was talking to someone, talking to a pastor, and we were talking about depression. And he's like, just pray it away, just say, I'm not depressed, and everything.
And how that work?
I mean, So, but what I didn't like, I support. I'm actually a spiritual person. I support praying. I support, but I feel that there's certain mental health is a science.
Yeah.
There's certain things they like understanding what triggers you. All of these things. We didn't talk about those things.
Yes.
We didn't talk about that. You're a child of God. God is in you and everything, which I believe absolutely. But I really wanted them to explore. Okay, you're feeling this way and you're feeling this way. What normally happens that makes you start feeling this way?
Exactly.
We don't have those conversations. So what are your thoughts on people that feel like, with regards to mental health issues, speaking to your religious leader is the answer?
Well, I mean, of course, it's not the answer. It has been proven time and time again that it doesn't end there. There is a role of religion. That's what I always tell people.
Absolutely.
We just introduced a faith-based aspect of our 24/7 helpline. And that's not by just will. It's because we saw that people actually want to integrate faith into their healing process. Mm-hmm. Because if you're in a society that is very religious, chances are that people are like, I'm going this direction. I understand. I want to do therapy and counseling. But I don't want it to feel like I'm doing two opposing things. Can we find a way to
merge
balance
it.
this and integrate this? So that's why you see, like, we have Muslim counselors, Christian counselors, and people are requesting for those things, right? But there's also a very sensitive part to it, which is the fact that religion has been used as a tool to shut people up in terms of their emotions, their life challenges, and all of that. And the institution, too, has been very controversial and, has been, in all these certain kinds of social issues that we all know about. But on the other side of it, and we see that faith or the belief in a higher power has been one of the reasons why people do not follow through with suicide. We're actually seeing that people who are more religious are less likely to follow through. It doesn't mean that you're following through or your suicidal ideation is a weakness in your faith or God is unhappy with you and all of that. It's just that sense of a higher power is more likely to give you a sense of higher purpose. And so it keeps holding you back from going all the way because they're looking for meaning in the challenges that you go through. So I think,
but it doesn't necessarily heal.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't heal.
I don't want us to discount it because for spirituality, and I'm glad you prefaced by saying you're a very spiritual person. Pray. I am as well. For spirituality, you cannot remove it from the individual. If I believe that my prayers heal me, best believe my prayers heal me. Your work as a mental health professional would be to find a way to integrate.
Yeah.
As opposed to be like, just leave prayer first. Let us, finish doing this one. It's an integration process. It's not that it will replace.
Okay.
It's about marrying both. Marrying both.
We have a 30-bedded mental health and drug rehabilitation center just 10 minutes away from here.
Okay.
And we have pastors on admission.
Okay.
So, what more
we
evidence?
have malams.
The man of God that he said that
Malams
is the
are
ultimate
heading
solution.
big mosques. Pastors heading big parishes on admission. So are we saying they are now less of who they are because they are mentally unstable at this point in time? In fact, one of the pastors that came on admission, it was the wife that insisted, my husband is not okay. The deputy pastors and the other council members said, no, he has been preaching, he has been doing this, he has been saying, no, I know who my husband is. He is not okay. 2 weeks into admission, the man also realized, I'm better now. Thank you, honey, for insisting and standing your ground. So religious spirituality is part of being human. So you're not taking it away from it. and you are integrating that into that. So for that man, we got our male therapist because he wanted a male.
Yeah,
We got our
I
male
see that
therapist
too.
who also was a deputy pastor in his church,
Mm.
who was seeing him more than the other group of therapists. Just
Okay.
He was more
more comfortable.
more comfortable with
Yeah,
him and
yeah.
all that. And so the truth is that spirituality won't take it away. We will only integrate it because people that are more spiritually minded, we tend to see them heal better and faster than just the general population. Likewise, one of our services we
It's almost like an anchor, isn't it?
anchor,
Yeah.
Because
It
it is.
is.
Because if you're on admission, there's a prayer mat for you on Sunday. The Bibles are there for you. There's Bible time self. So we don't take that away because we understand how important it is, but we will not make the hospital a thoroughfare where everybody will not be coming to pray. We say, no, pray and fast for this person in
From
and
outside.
wherever you are. And then, of course, there are phone lines that you can call and video call and everything. And you also then see that the service we deploy to corporate organization, which we call Employee Assistance Program, is a 24 hours call line. People will even call 1 a.m. and say, pray with me. And of course, the therapist, because they understand that after praying, they now ask questions. And because now they've created the rapport,
Exactly.
they've established that, they now
Exactly.
start asking the question. And those questions were more like, I'm tired. I just want to end it all. I just needed to just talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And so we bring in the person and with that spirituality merge into it. But so pastors, malams, what they need, I love the fact that they are spiritual leaders. Let them stay where they are. But if you want to, take it higher, go for training.
Yes.
There's what we call the psychological and mental first aid. So they become first aiders. So when people come to them for prayers and all that, ask those. So we teach them all those. Ask our triggers. Ask their strengths, their weaknesses, their psychosocial support and all that. So they know, okay, this one I will still be praying for you and with you, but you need to go and talk to a therapist. So they need that training, and that is the training we are currently deploying now to schools, to HR leaders, to religious leaders, so that they can help. Because people, when they are in distress, they are going this way. Pharmacy, get medication, numb yourself, go to they do drugs, whatever. This way, malam, pastor, pray, whatever. So when we get these gatekeepers into the ecosystem, it helps everybody.
Yeah.
And when they are better trained, we have better results.
What should people stop saying to those who are struggling emotionally?
What should
People stop saying. So your friend comes to you and says, this is what's going on. What should people stop saying? Especially, obviously, the person they're going to is maybe a friend and is not like a licensed professional or anything. What should people stop saying?
Let me tell you the Nigerian
Take
one.
heart.
Apart from take heart.
That's
Only
that.
that.
I was just
Your
gonna-
problem are
that's
not
it.
plenty. If
Oh
you
my
hear my
God.
own, oh God.
It becomes
It's
somehow
yes. So that is just a problem. See, and then you are going to go away with two problems.
Or
The problem you came with, and my own that I'm better than you. So you have all this issue and you're not even saying, I'm better now.
or you're not depressed, you just
You're
need
not-
money.
Yes, you just need money. Yeah. Or just, no. Everybody in Nigeria is depressed. What's your
Exactly.
problem?
So we think we're
Yeah.
saying something really
Yeah.
strong and really
But they're not.
meaningful. But what we're really doing is that we're bypassing and we're
Yeah.
silencing the person.
Canceling
When we
Yeah,
say
person,
something,
yeah.
canceling.
we're minimizing their
Minimizing
pain
their
and
pain,
things.
yeah.
What is the biggest lie people tell themselves when they are struggling emotionally?
I'll be fine.
And it's not to
just
say
say
that you will not be fine. It's just that I think we overestimate our capabilities and things that we have not developed skills for. A lot of us have not developed emotional skills and skills to move ourselves out of the rut. So you see people complaining about a problem now, but I can guarantee you, 5 years ago they had that problem. 10 years ago they had that same problem or versions of that problem. So every cycle you think you're moving through it, we are really in a loop. Just going through time in that same, and just looks different in different contexts, but it's really the same thing. I think the idea is really to disabuse ourselves of this thing where you feel like you can get skills for certain things. Because when it comes to business and all, look at all of us, we do business courses, we do this and do that. But when it comes to like parenting and emotions and all of that, and it's like you feel like it's supposed to be in it. If it's not in it, then get the
Acquirable
skills.
skills.
They're all acquirable skills. So not to shame anybody, but I do think that we overestimate what we can do. And I say that as somebody who, lives with a mental health condition, who has attempted suicide before. That, for a long time, you feel like, I get this.
I got this.
I'm
I'm fine.
doing it now. I'm fine.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
doing.
fine.
Don't
God
worry.
is
If
in
I just do
control.
this and do this,
Mhm.
I'm okay. At least I
That's
had a
what
good day
20%
yesterday. So
is.
progress. Not really. I had like the best day the day before I almost attempted suicide. So no, it doesn't work that way.
How do you I don't know how to ask this question. How do you let's say you're going through like a, rough, sort of period, maybe work is just ugh. How do you stop yourself from spiraling? How do you just like wait, because I think a lot of people don't know when to just pause
Yeah.
and just say,
breathe, yeah.
what is going on? How do you
Yeah.
stop yourself
I
from
think
just
people
constantly
know how to
spiraling?
pause, but they pause at the wrong time. You pause in the middle of the spiral. You can't. You won't stop. You build the skills before adversity comes or before distress comes. And then you build them and you strengthen them as anchors. The problem is that is when things are literally falling apart that we now all, okay, I need to start doing
Fire
exercise.
brigade
I need to start
approach.
doing meditation. Okay, let me hang out with my friends more and all of that. They might help here and there, but because they have not been anchored. For something to be an anchor, it needs to be rooted, it needs to be strong, heavy. So that means repetition over a period of time. So you see all of those things that we know that are fantastic for our mental health. If we don't start them in a place of stability, then
And
you think that
awareness.
and awareness, and you think that is when things are spiraling. I'll just quickly deploy. No, because we are pattern making beings.
Trying to
And
like
we
hold
have
break.
It's
when
like trying
you're
to hold
running.
break at the
The
end,
car is
and
going
then
to
it's like
stumble, yeah.
you
Yeah.
still crashed or you
Crash,
fell
yeah.
through the whatever it is. So build the skills early, and that's why mental health shouldn't be a conversation about just illness or condition or anxiety or
Everything.
suicide.
It's
It's
nice.
about well-being. So let's start with it because this idea that what can be me? Well, it's not me.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do when I'm in conversations is try to ensure that everybody has entered the conversation somehow. So when we talk about sleep, you can relate. Talk about food, you can relate. Parenting, you can relate, Abi. So now we're all in it. Now let's start building all those skills
Yeah.
because we will need it someday. Everybody's not going to go to the extreme. But everybody wants a better life.
Yes.
And that's why CPR, when you learn the skill of CPR, you never do it for yourself. You are learning it to do it for somebody. And that's
Okay.
why we want people to be more mental health first aiders. So that when somebody is going through issues, they're not just like, don't worry, everybody is going through issues. No, you'll be fine.
We need to be
No,
better
no.
bystanders.
Yeah. Sometimes when you don't even know what to tell your friend if he's going through something, that keep quiet or you just say, I'm here. 3 words. I'm here.
Yes.
here.
If someone is watching this episode or listening to this episode now and they're silently struggling, what would you want them to hear first?
I believe you.
Yeah. You are not alone. It's a good day to check in on yourself. As much you show kindness to others, now show kindness to yourself and go seek help that you need.
Yeah. I think I would add that, I mean, a lot of times people who are struggling don't have or they don't feel comfortable talking to the people in their immediate environment. Maybe there's a power of a stranger who doesn't know your history.
Exactly.
And so you want that person who's not going to judge you. And so for us, that's why our 24/7 helpline has been very good. Because you don't know who's on the other end of the call. You just know that they are qualified people.
And they don't know you.
They don't know
they
you.
don't know
Exactly.
you, yeah.
So for me, it's always 0800 800 2000. Just call.
Say that
Any
again,
time of the
please.
day. 0800 800 2000.
Okay.
Toll free 24/7.
And let's also get your socials, websites, please. And it should be on the screen. So, sorry, once again, the number.
0800 800 2000.
Okay. And what about people that prefer to write? Do you have like an email address? Is there a website? Is there...
Yeah, they can email us hello@sherightswoman.org or they
Hello.
can DM
Okay. What's the handle?
@sherightswoman.
@SheWritesWoman. Okay. So we are going to do a quick fire round.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
it's...
know this part.
So...
So they can also call 08000 speak out.
All 8,000 speak out. All the information will be like on the screen. We have got this quick fire round and you are just allowed to give one answer, true or false. So I'm going to give a statement. Myself and Gbemi will give statements and you've got to say true or false.
Okay.
Being busy can hide depression.
You can also say two
That's
can
true.
be true.
That's
Two
true.
things
True
can be
and
true.
false. That's true and false.
Two things can be true.
It can be true. Hide it? Is it really hiding it? I would say false, actually. It's
Being
wow.
busy.
Being busy can hide it. I don't think it's actually hiding it.
being busy can hide depression.
Mhm.
Yes.
From who?
Why? Because
From others.
from others.
From other
because
people.
you are
Okay,
just going
true
to be
then.
doing it, and then nobody ever knows you're depressed, and then you can even die from suicide.
Yeah, so I mean,
So,
that's
yeah.
why we talk about high
Yeah,
functioning
yeah, high
depression
functioning
and things
depression.
like that. Yeah.
It's not a diagnosis when it comes to the criteria we use, but it's a word we use. High functioning depression
Yeah.
is real.
Yeah.
They are very productive. They are the life of the party. They are very lively. They are people oriented. They are, go. But you just wake up and the person has just killed himself. So being busy can actually hide depression.
From
Okay.
others, yeah.
Not everyone who smiles is happy. True.
Yes.
Or false?
That's true.
Okay.
Sometimes rest is more productive than hustle.
Yes,
true.
always. We need it. Always rest. True.
Some people are addicted to survival mode.
Addicted to survival mode. Some people, yes.
Yes, it is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Healing can make you lonely.
Self-healing.
Yes, I would say yes, actually.
Self-healing, yeah.
Yeah,
When you're
it
in a
can.
journey to that healing and discovering yourself.
Because it's just you.
Yes, just you, yeah.
I mean, even beyond
Exactly
that, I've
that,
seen
yeah.
people go through their own sort of mental health sort of
Yeah.
healing and all of that, and they realize that their entire personalities were trauma responsive.
Yeah.
Like what they liked, where they love to hang out, the kind of people they've made over time, and then you are rolling back certain decisions, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden it's like, I don't
These
want to
people
be
don't
anywhere.
belong to your circle of
I don't
influence,
belong
yeah.
here anymore. Yeah.
Family can be the biggest source of emotional stress.
Yeah.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes, plus.
In fact,
Promax.
see, to be honest, like for us, we saw that it was the number
Promax.
two.
Is it? Yeah.
Number two
No,
reason for
after
divorce.
money?
For us.
After money.
No, for us,
it was
it's family.
familiar conflict.
From our data is family. And so because people hold on to this biological family thing, oh, it's my dad, it's my mom.
Blood
my
is thicker than
sibling.
water.
Yeah, blood is that thing.
Family
They
is
are
everything.
there. They are there. So when you say the word I'm stressed, that D that end the word stress is dealing with toxicity. Dealing with family people that are toxic, friends that are toxic, co-workers or colleagues that are toxic. See, that family thing is a whole course in the university, 4 points.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, prayer and therapy can exist together.
No,
Yes,
absolutely.
coexist.
We've
Yes, in
discussed that.
marriage.
Yeah,
in marriage,
absolutely.
in marriage.
Some friendships end because growth happened.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
And sometimes somebody outgrew you
You do.
because we always make it seem like you're the one that's growing and living other
Not
people.
that I
But
hate
somebody
you.
outgrew
Not
you
that
too.
I don't like
That
you.
was painful, Sha.
Yes.
Hey,
but
that's
but
it.
that's the
And we don't always
reality.
acknowledge that one.
Yeah.
That's something you're the dead weight, so you're the one that did not. You're the one that did not level up. I'm gone.
Move. If you see a rocket is going to move, Jeff Bezos, we watched him last when he took people to moon. When the altitude is about to change, it drops all those. That's how it is. There's some friends you just have to drop and so that you can get to that height. No beefing, nothing but.
Just keep things moving. Strong people break too.
Of course, they break and they break sometimes really bad.
Silence is not always peace.
Yes.
No, a lot of
Yes, a lot
times
of
silence
times, yeah.
is not even peace at all.
Yeah.
We just conflate it a lot because it just feels like I'm not offsetting anything, and we don't want to put ourselves in a position to deal with discomfort or uncomfortable conversations, or we want to sometimes really it's a survival skill. It's like I don't want to lose my place of belonging.
Yeah.
I belong in this environment, in this family, in this whatever. So I'm just gonna keep quiet and let people do their thing.
It's
keep
not
on
even
keeping on.
healthy. Because people that avoid conflict is not.
Yeah, I'm
Say
more
it as
likely
it
to-
is. Find
yeah.
the time to have those hard conversations. I strongly believe people need to start having hard conversations.
Avoidance.
Or just avoidance and let peace just reign. It's a lie.
It's a lie.
The day
You just
that-
transferred the peace.
Yes.
So how do you deal with a situation where something's happened, you need to have a conversation, but the other person's not ready?
Let's say the truth is that you also have to know when is the right time. It's like when you were younger, you know when to go and ask daddy for permission for something. You have studied him, you've known him. Now you want to force somebody who is not ready to, you will collect.
I think it's also a
You will
two-way.
collect.
I think it's a two-way
It's-
thing
yeah.
because a lot of times we have
Don't
this
be forcing
avoidance,
people.
anxiety, attachment issues that people are always talking about. This dynamic where I like to talk about issues now, but the other part is like I like to process by myself, and so there's this ongoing
Yeah.
dance of who is going to. I think both parties have a role to play. You don't want to talk now, please. Can you just verbalize it? Like, I don't want to talk now.
Yes,
This is
no
when I want
silent
to talk. This
treatment.
is
Yeah,
why
no
I want,
silent
and
treatment,
this is
yeah.
what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be the one to come back. So it's not me following up with you again because I've got this anxious anxiety or an attachment. It's like now you've been able to say, I don't want to talk now. I'm going to be able to talk in about an hour or two when I've properly decompressed, and then I'll come back to you. And then let it be that there are some elements of it. You first tell me what you're going to do. You tell me when you're going to come back. Tell me a little bit of a why and what we're going to address.
I'll come back in
It's
5
really
years.
what makes the relationship
If I
steady.
say it's 5 years. I said, what you have not discussed in 24 hours, come back in 48 hours, I'll do that in that 72 hours. Also, some of us want to insist that we must talk. The other means of communication. Right, there's WhatsApp. Right, there's email. Do voice
We
note.
not call it
That's
crashing
the
out.
thing. See, the
So
truth is that
people don't want to talk
want
anymore.
to
It's one thing I don't crash out or you're
You
crashing
know,
out.
I was about to say we should wrap things up, but there's one thing that I would again like both of your opinions on boundaries. Do you think that because I feel nowadays that boundaries, that word has been used.
Is there any
It's
word
been
in the
overused.
therapy space that's not being turned into pop
I
psychology?
feel like boundaries. Some people use boundaries to avoid situations as
Yeah,
well.
that's it.
Because if you have like a friendship, you know, something happened, rather than have like a conversation,
So I'm just
it's like
drawing a line
you
into
cross
my
my boundaries.
boundaries.
End of.
Yeah.
So do you think people are using that term and the idea wrongly?
Yes.
I do
It's
think so.
overused, of abused, and people escape responsibility.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because they just believe that you've crossed my boundary. The truth is that boundaries are like things, when you set them, they are not for you. They are not supposed to be in the incubator. Boundaries must be communicated.
Absolutely.
Don't set boundaries and just assume that the person should know how to, work with you on it. So when we talk about being abused, is because people want to escape certain discussion, certain situation.
Accountability.
It's just the way people are saying, "Oh, my mental health." Oh, my, excuse me.
It's
Don't
true.
go there, because you are not allowing people that truly have mental health issues to have access to the care that they need or deserve. So yes, boundaries have been eroded the same way they abuse safe spaces, because we do understand that safe spaces are supposed to hold that as in safe. But now you say this is a safe space, you can say, but you have leaked it out to one blog, you have put it on your WhatsApp status. Why did you use the word safe? Like the pop psychology, it's a lot. See, those boundaries, it has really been abused.
I just want to balance that a little bit. I was just like, I want to balance that a little bit with the fact that yes, indeed, people need to start setting boundaries, healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, I do think that in societies where the boundaries are blurred, personal, professional, or home, and not being able to, there's a lot of enmeshment. Nobody knows where they stop and where another person begins. You're in people's businesses, not being able to stand your ground. Where is your identity versus the community or versus the other people that you have relationships with and all of that. But then again, of course, it's the fact that we don't know things. We love the words like trauma bonding. Oh, we trauma bonded. No, my darling, you did not trauma bond. That's not what it is. And things like that. There's so much work to be done with it. But yes, we do need.
This is. I feel like this conversation can go on for another 2 hours,
telling you.
but we do need to wrap up. So can I get both of you to just give us one thing that you would like the viewers or the listeners to take away about mental health?
We all have mental health, but we do not all have mental illness. So I want people to understand that when they hear the word mental health, it's part of their health, not necessarily an illness. And because mental health is just the way we think, the way we act, the way we behave, the way, things go all around us. And the health is wealth, but there's absolutely no health without mental health. So when you are having challenges and you believe that something is wrong, or you notice that something has changed in you yesterday that wasn't here, that changed today that wasn't there yesterday, and if you don't take necessary steps to go get help, please go get the help that you need. Help is available, in as much as yes, we still have one psychiatrist to 1 million Nigerians. We have less. The Jackpot syndrome is taking people away. We have quite a number of people like Hauwa in the space, the NGOs, there are first aiders that are also there. Go get help. Make sure that the help that you get is from the right people, the right places, and the right time. And that time is now.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
So
Thank
I think what I
you.
would just really say is that mental health is an everything issue. Because the idea of, and I see that all the time, I give lots of talks and engagements and stuff. The moment you talk about mental health, people stop thinking of themselves and they are recalling someone else. mental health is an everything issue. Whether you feel like, oh, I don't work in the NGO space, I don't work in the health space, I'm not a doctor now. Why would I? It is an everything issue. It's in how you raise your children. It's in what moves, for example, we saw that, for every 1 naira that we that's invested into our work, we deliver 11 naira worth of social value to people that need therapy. And they're getting it at almost 80%, 95% discount compared to where they would get it across Nigeria, right? And so it is an economical issue. It is a GDP issue. It is a financial issue. It is a poverty issue. Every time we problem solve around mental health, we're realizing that you cannot separate the social determinants from mental health because those are the underlying drivers. And so when anybody is listening to this, I want them to think of themselves and their work and their lives and all the areas that they feel like, so how does mental health interact with that? There's mental health in arts and creativity, comms and all of these areas. And that's how I want us to look at it, because I do believe that we don't leave the work to just people with mental health conditions or the so-called we leave it to the professionals. Yes, there's a huge body of people in that category. It's an everybody problem.
Right. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on the
This
show.
has been very, very enlightening. It's just reminded me to just book another session with my therapist. I showed that woman peppermint, but it's all good. I'm glad I did. I really feel that everybody should. And if you're going through something, if you're watching this, if you're going through something and you're like, yeah, this isn't feeling right. This isn't the way I think things should be. You need to speak to somebody. If you have a good, close circle of friends that you can speak to them. If you need to get professional help, there is no shame in getting professional help. Just one last thing, just your contact details again, just in case somebody has connected with either of you and they're like, I need to come to your house. I need to talk to you. How can they reach you?
So we have end-to-end management of when it comes to mental health. We have the physical hospital, which is 30-bedded. We have the telemedicine platform, which is Hauwa. Therapy is cheaper there. From Google Play Store and some web.
Hauwa.
Hauwa, H-O-W-B-O-D-I, the way Nigerian says it. And of course, we have the NGO, which is the 08,000 Speak Out. And so, in any form you want to reach us, feel free. And if you are working in a corporate organization, this is the time for you to walk to your HR or the management and say, we need employees assistance program. Because it's like the insurance you give, and it's a 24 hours service that employees can actually call and get the help that they need. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
0800 800 2000 will always be it. Wherever you are, it's toll free 24/7. It is multilingual actually, so if you prefer to speak your local language,
That's nice.
Indicate. It's also disability sensitive, because a lot of times we forget about people with disabilities. It's disability sensitive, and of course we have the faith-based components as well. So 0800 800 2000, or you can DM us across social media at She Writes Woman.
Okay. Thank you so much to both of you. Very, very enlightening. And I hope that our listeners and our viewers have made tons of notes and take a lot away from this conversation.
It is time for Money Zone. This is where we talk about money. We talk about how Moniepoint helps your life, your business, and everything. Now, we are women entrepreneurs.
Yes, we are.
And many women entrepreneurs juggle multiple responsibilities, often blending your personal as well as your business finances out of necessity. And while this approach may work short term, right, it greatly creates confusion, it limits your growth, and it makes it difficult to measure your business performance. It makes it difficult to measure if your business is doing well or not. And Moniepoint helps you create clear boundaries by providing dedicated business accounts and transaction tracking, which I love very, very much. So this separation empowers women to manage their businesses more confidently and make informed financial decisions. Look, we've all made rookie mistakes starting. When you start a business, right, you have situations whereby you dip into, you need that new wig, you need to do a pedicure, and the next thing you know, you're dipping into your business. How would you know if your business is growing or not? When you're using your business money for personal personal
Purchases
things.
or yeah.
Exactly. So this is where Money Point comes in. You can open a business account separate from your personal account, and they help you with so many things, money book and separate transactions. So you're able to track things. They also have something on the app to help you with your inventory and so many more options. So make sure you download the Money Point app today. Very simple.
Yep. Make sure you download that MoneyPoint app. Again, it is fantastic for business owners and individuals as well. Remember, if you have a business and you need to, get transfers and you have people, paying for your items, you can see them instantly. And there's lots of fantastic information on how to make sure you are doing better with your money.
This was such a good episode. I was a bit worried at the beginning that it was going to be super serious, but I like the way both guests broke down mental health issues, how to tackle them, how to notice them, where to go when you need some help. So, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Look, we're all
Going
stressing
through stuff
in this Tinubu economy.
just in general.
No, but they mentioned money. Money is a huge factor here. Like
It absolutely is. And then the whole family stuff. Oh, Lord. Anyways, but I always like it when we do like a wholesome episode.
yeah.
Because see, the crazy thing is, some people that are not committed to watching us properly, you'll see the ones that go viral. And then you think, what are they talking about? But we have episodes like this. We talk about different things. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So stuff like this, unless you say something scandalous, then, the blogs aren't jumping like up and down and everything. But episodes like this are very important because I'm absolutely certain that somebody watching this is now thinking, okay, I need to talk to somebody, or they've now decided to take that step and
or
go and speak to
listening.
somebody.
Yeah.
So hopefully you got a lot out of this episode. I absolutely did as well.
I did. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Catch you next time.
Bye. Have a fantastic weekend.